What up, guys? Welcome back. Gambler, this is part two. We're going to be going over the blue or the rare cards for Starborne. This is a little reflection, just my opinions, a little review. You don't have to listen to me, but maybe this will be helpful when you start looking through doing them alphabetical. So maybe if you want to fast forward, you're looking for a specific card, you know, just support it, maybe watch it. This is just my opinions. So we're going to jump into this. The first card right here. These are interesting. You'll probably get, if you're playing through a full server, you're doing your dailies, you're getting some, the steel caches, the bronze caches, the carbon caches. You might get 5, 6, 7, 8 of these a server, maybe 10. Situationally, and I'm going to say this on this video, and I'm going to say this on the next two videos, which is you guys need to understand this concept. This is more of an advanced concept. So when you look at this, okay, so for example, I'm just going to go and look up, we're going to type in hit points in here, okay? I'm going to make this point so we get it out of the way. So you see these emblems on here, okay? You can see that this slot, the very far left slot of fleets, is your main offensive stats. These cards that you want to get for like hit points are defensive, firepower is offensive. What you can do is, so if you look at this, you got the shield. I believe this is the middle slot, okay? You are going, or the second to left slot is your shield, meaning this is your main stat for hit points. When you craft this card, it's giving you 50 hit points for lights, and giving you, this is the off slot for this. So now if you go in here, I understand I'm not explaining this very well, but if you go in here and look for firepower, see how this is the main slot for firepower and the off slot for firepower, they're reversed. So some players will build firepower on main slot and hit points on their main slot, which means some of the builds, like for Gatos is a bad example, but if you're going some kind of destroyer build, offensive frigate build, carriers, some people will build main slot firepower on this emblem, and then they'll go hit points on the main slot. So all of their fleets will be firepower HP, firepower HP, firepower HP, just so they're maxing the amount of benefit that they're getting from those slots. When you build hit points, the off slot is not giving as many stats as you would like if you were going defense. If I'm going hit point, I'm not min-maxing the firepower, the HP, totals, like so HP is 50, and then we can go firepower is 20. So 20, 50, 20, 50, 20, 50 on every single one of if you're building, these rare slots. I wanted you guys to be aware of this. You guys can go firepower on all your fighting fleets and maxing out how much your punch is, because you go to the first round, if you've got more firepower than them, you're obviously killing more fleets. But you also need to realize some people are going firepower HP, and if you're running in with the same amount of fleets, but their firepower HP and your firepower, they might, it's a question of what's going to survive more, and you get more benefit by having the firepower HP if you're running into the same fleet. If you have the same buffs as them, you've spied it, you're flying out of a station that has a lot of your attacking buffs. Maybe you have Moomy running, all that good stuff. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of this. So I know I deviated there a little bit, but I wanted you guys to understand, how to build fleets. There are several slots and several options that you have: firepower, firepower HP, or HP, and every single one of those builds are situational. And you guys need to unpack that and start thinking about, what's the benefit of running main or main off, or off main by HP, and seeing what the benefits of each one of those builds are for the type of ships that you're using. We'll get back on track on this. So now we've got Arc Vale. These are actually really good cards. Maybe, early on you can pop one of these. Early on in the server, you want to, and you have, like, maybe you're sitting on 7,000 of each resource or more, and you want to queue up, 3 or 4 hours of industrials. Pop one of these cards. It's going to save on how much time. All of the time ship cards are very good, but like I was saying, you don't want to be using, any of these cards. Maybe the industrials is a really good example of, you're going to be sitting on a lot of these, and getting back to this, you're going to be burning down some of these cards. Yes. Maybe having 10 of these, keeping 10 of these and burning down the rest is what I would do. But situationally, if you have a station, like you have 5 stations and 2 of them have pilots, which is time reduction cost on all light ships, and then you combo it with this industrial card, and maybe you're trying to build a fob. Maybe you're trying to help, or your alliance is planning to build a fob, or they're building the alliance station, and you have 1 or 2 stations that have pilots. You can blow these industrial time cards and queue up 6, 8, 10 hours, 12 hours of industrials and make them faster. That's what these cards are for. In my opinion, maybe saving 10 of these is good. Well, Big Bill is awesome. Big Bill is so good. There's several ways to think about queuing. I've never been a player that pops Big Bill and then queues up 24 hours worth of buildings. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen. Any given time, something might change on the server. If you're trying to min-max your card usage, meaning Big Bill's going to run for 8 hours, but maybe that last hour you want to queue up, 9 hours worth of military buildings, and you swap those cards in, then you switch and you put on domain buildings and queue up another 9 hours of domain buildings, and then you want to queue up another 9 hours, or 9, 18, 20, whatever, 18, so 7 hours of industrial buildings, and swap all those cards around and min-max Bill. You can do that. I've never been that type of player, but there are situations, and maybe you want to be that type of player that's just min-maxing all of your cards. So Big Bill is giving you, so specialization buildings means industrial. This does not apply to, so this applies to specialty buildings and orgs. That does not apply to your refineries. It does not apply to seat. It does not apply to your unique buildings. Okay, just be aware of that. Okay, so next, Breath Matrix is amazing. This is the S tier card. You want to be, pretty much running this non-stop on your flare runners, on your industrials that running flares. Hopefully you've got Trucker's Hall. Hopefully you have the cargo space. Hopefully you've got blue or purple cards on your industrial fleet. They're running around. Maybe you have Helios on one of your stations. This Breath Matrix is amazing. If you've saved up 20, 30, 40, 50 of these, and you're attempting to solo build your own fob, or helping out the Alliance a lot with all of your ships, you can pop these Breath Matrixes on your capitals, on your frigates, on your destroyers, on your corvettes, on your industrials. These are this is a very You do never ever want to be breaking down these cards. You're going to be using the shit out of these Matrix cards. Same thing with the next one, Crimson. The +8 freighter card is amazing. You need to move a lot of resources around. Maybe you've been away from your game for 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, and you may need to move a lot of resources. You can pop this if you have, 20 of them, 30 of them, 40 of them saved up. You have 5-6 stations. You can instantly, you got 8 stations. You pop 8 of these cards. You got 64 freighters. And now you're just moving around a lot more resources. And then comboing that with freighter speed from a location that has freighter speed on it. Amazing, amazing card. Thrusters +10 speed. This goes back to that the scanning builds, having face scans really early on. You get this like day one from one of your first caches. This is a really amazing card to get. Scanning for missions, lighting up suns, all that good stuff. And then I'll be able to unpack this card, the better versions of this card later on in the other videos. I'm going to be unpacking some more advanced reasons to get some of these cards. The scan radius cards, the scan duration cards, the scan speeds cards are just amazing. You guys need to understand and realize how good these cards are. Like I said, the firepower. So bare minimum, you want to have at least most of your fleets with blue or purple cards. You're running Gatos, maybe half of your 30 Gatos fleets have purple cards, and maybe half of them have blue cards, or maybe 75% of your cards are blue. And like I said, investing, if you have some blueprint fragments, invest in this card. If you are just a player that's new to the game and you really enjoy Gatos, level up the fiber laser card and then level up the, so you want, Gatos, you're going firepower, get this blueprint leveled up first. This is an amazing card, just like the off version of this card is amazing. It's probably later on and on a different page. Like I said in the last video, never ever break down your tactics cards, your rock, paper, scissors cards. These are amazing cards. The blue ones, purple, you might get lucky, get a gold one, might get lucky, get a couple of purple ones. You want to put those on your carriers or your capital fleets that you're going to be wanting to make. Tactics are huge in this game. Rock, paper, scissors, flanking, turtling, pincer, seeing what the enemy is running and countering it so you get more firepower. Next one, these baubles are very, very situational, but I want you guys to understand this. You do not have to have the expanded storage on an HSA station. You just pop one of these baubles. So if you want to make a troop carrier, okay, you have a troop carrier, you want to make the station only can cap the bare minimum a level 4 station caps out is 126,000 resources. Let's say in some universe you do not have a heavy ship savings card, you can pop one of these baubles there, and now you cap at 176,000 resource cap. You transfer a bunch of resources to your HSA, and then you queue up a troop carrier. It's a very good situational thing that you can do. Or I'm going to make this point and drive this home really, really, home on this. You guys need to connect the dots on this. When you accidentally mess up on freighters and you send more room than what you have, like let's say you mess up and you transfer like 100,000 metal to the wrong station, and now you're going to lose all those resources, just pop a bauble on the station where it's landing at, and you can catch all of those resources that you messed up on. This is a very good situational card to have. Don't break all of these down. Maybe hold on to one or two of these, just so if you accidentally mess up on transferring resources, or if you're trying to make a troop carrier, this is a very good card to have. Graviton missiles. So if you're going for some kind of gunship build, you're on 2, 3, 4 stations making gunships, and maybe you want blue cards on them, maybe you want all purple cards on them. Maybe gunships take a long time to build. They're very costly build to play in this game. I think that you should have at least purple cards on all your gunships, but maybe that's me just being too critical on players and holding them to a too high of a standard. But I feel like you should have at least purple cards on all your bombers. But these are bombing cards that go on gunships. Next one. So this is the off version. Oh no, this is the main. No, excuse me. The double reverse. This is the off firepower for Gatos. Maybe, like I said, you want to level this up. If you're a Gatos player, get the blueprint leveled up to level 5, so you're saving on all the crafts of this, like mine already has. It's 162, having level 5 blueprint on this. Get that one up. Like I said, these are situational. Yeah, I don't know if you want to be... I mean, yes, like if you've gone a more, you have 20 stacks of frigates and 10 stacks of carriers. Maybe you put some, you're just throwing any card that you have onto those fleets. But early game, I just don't know. The only real thing I really feel like this has a place for is, if somehow you're just extremely far ahead and you can go firepower, and just overwhelm your opponents. You haven't seen anything that's close to you that has way more HP than you, and you're just trying to first round and zerg people down. Firepower builds can work on heavies, or this is more of a Gatos build. Next one, hydraulic. So this is I believe these are amazing cards. I try to keep 1 or 2 of these on hand at all times. This goes on your industrials for making outposts, or if you're going to be augmenting your own stuff. Just an amazing card to swap in and have for making your outposts. If you're on a level 4 station and you're the place that you want to put like an HSA or a mining colony is on the 4th ring, or maybe you're on New Horizons and your HSA is on a 5th ring, this will help you build it a lot faster. Max is oh my gosh, this card, Corvettes for Destroyers. I've even crafted this card early. For all of my Zayok players out there, this is an amazing card. Max is an amazing card to have. You can pop this on your Corvettes and get cargo space on them, or maybe somehow you're on Destroyers and you're doing the same thing. This is an amazing card. 1 speed, 6 cargo, and I don't give a shit about the HP. I care less about the HP. This is more about the cargo speed, the cargo space, and the speed. This is an amazing card, okay? This is so critical if you're going to be raiding, like on the gravity map, where you have a bunch of level 1 marauders next to you. You're going faster and you're taking more with the same amount of ships as the guy that's right next to you. So this is an amazing card to keep. I would highly suggest not even breaking any of these down. You never break these down. Plunder cards. I have a couple plunder videos up. You guys can go watch them. Everybody or anybody that's interested in learning about them, plunder is, once again, marauders have hidden resources that you can put your hand into and take, and then it will regenerate the hidden resources before it starts filling up the unhidden reserves at that location. You guys need to learn about what plunder does and how it works with the game. So that's as much as I'm going to go onto plunder on that one. Minefield card is an amazing card. I keep at least 2 to 4 of these at all times. When you are in active war, swapping on 2 minefield cards onto a bellicose bespoke station, this is increasing 32,000 firepower on some missile batteries. It's amazing. You guys need to keep this a highly S tier card, in my opinion, for how the game works. Mining robots is interesting. I was just talking about this in general. Having some kind of station harvest build would be interesting, like New Horizons, Fortress, station harvest build with RG, station hall, maybe some policies that increase station harvest rate. This would be very interesting to play around with this and see what it actually does. We have, next one is the blue plasma cargo card. This is an amazing card. You know, always have, when you have the lull, you get a pilots online and you're like, hey, I'm just going to invest in some early, I just want some more industrials. Maybe I just don't want to be flying around with one industrial fleet. The veteran players are rolling around with 2 or 3 stacks of buffed up industrials. You need to have at least blue plasma cargo cards and plasma or just regular cargo cards for your industrials. You really don't want to be using 200 or 300 industrials. That's too much labor when you could just invest in some of these cards early on, or just invest in them in general by running, go run 100 missions and break all those cards down and buy 1 or 2 of these, 1 or 2, or maybe 1 purple, 1 blue of the same plasma cargo card. These are just really good cards to have. Keep at least 1 or 2 of these if you don't have 2 or 3 industrials already running flares. Good card. Like I said, this is part of the scan duration, scan probe radius build. These are amazing cards. I keep at least 1 or 2 of these 48-hour ones. And then you can just break down your common ones. Hold on to these. These are amazing, especially early on for, like I said, lighting up suns. This adds 48 hours. So now you've lit up that one sun for 3 days. It's amazing. This is the off slot for hit points. If there's a reason, and there is a reason, if you are an MPL player, you're building all of these frigates, you want to go HP and just park your huge fleet somewhere and AFK for a day, this is the card for you. Going HP cards. I believe that I haven't done it. I've never played MPL and gone frigates, but they're just this turtley mass of frigates that you build, getting on 2, 3, 4, 5 HSAs, pumping frigates and going HP cards. You're soaking. You're this defensive ball of just, parking anywhere and turtling. Okay. So HP has a place. These are good cards. If you're doing that kind of build, don't break them down. Cruxes are amazing, and I'm going to make this point right now. When this getting into these purple, blue, and gold Crux cards, not the commons, just these better ones, you really do only want to be blowing these on stations that have pyro on them. You guys can look at when I release these videos. If you guys don't know what pyro is a gold card that is a station card that increases the amount of all generated resources on that station by 15%. So if I were to bust this Crux on a station that has a pyro, instead of it generating 600, it's going to generate 690 total resources of all 3, because it's getting the 15% from the pyro card. So this is the first real card you want to pay attention to, possibly only burning on stations that have pyro. Okay. Next one, Rabble Squad. Amazing card. Okay. You can put these on industrials and raid with your industrials. Something that's cleared. The only downside of this is you're not going to get high values of plunder on industrials, but you can still fly around with industrials and raid stuff. You just, if you're running into level 1 marauders, you might take some losses. I'm not sure if the patrols on a level 1 marauder will kill one of your industrials or not, but people use these to raid with industrials. Decent card, but I've never used them. I've always gone Zaok, and I've got plenty of Corvettes that I just spam, and I'm just raiding the shit out of everything with Corvettes. Like I said, this is one of those stealth cards. If you are TN player and you were looking for a more advanced strategies, look up the stealth values and the scan strength values, both sides of the coin, and getting into stealth and how that works is more a fine-tuned build that is not really in, you know, a new beginner player is going to be looking into. This is more an advanced strategy, but something that you can look into. Robot workers, 200 labor cards, maybe save 20 or 30 of these and burn down the rest. I think situationally in the early game, these are good. If you need a little bit of labor for maybe running missions or filling out a full stack of heavies, you can pop these. But as soon as you've got your first, you know, station 4 is labor or station 5 is ice, these kind of go toast, but they're still good. It's just you don't need as many of them. Maybe hold on to 10 or 20 of them is what I would stick with, and then burn down the rest. This is the once again, the scan range card is for the scanning combo. That's an amazing card. Hold on to 1 or 2 of those. Sophie, oh man, so Sophie is amazing. So what you do with Sophie is she gets applied to patrols and frigates. Okay. I know I've always said I've only ever made vets, but Sophie is very interesting. If you start getting frigates, like let's say you just do you unlock your HSA and you just get your 5 frigates, and that, you know, making 5 frigates unlocks 5 more. So now you have 2 stacks of 5 frigates running around running missions. If you pop Sophie on, you know, for 2 days, it gives 1 escort and 1 speed. She's going to be able to do assault and raid missions. Sophie is so good. And then if you get in the later stages of the game, if you save her up and you have 20 or 30 of her or whatever, you can start putting these on full stacks of frigates and just run all, you know, obviously not going to be able to do scan missions, but you can do the assault or raid missions with her and just go pure frigates. And as long as you're running missions, you're always going to have this card, and you're going to be able to use your frigates to do all those missions, which is amazing. This is an amazing card. The escort and the speed, and unlocks your ability to do raid missions with frigates is awesome. So good. Storage block. Like I said, we starting to get into the industrial cargo space cards. This is an amazing card. It's a combo for running flares. You're probably going to... You might get 7, 8, 10 of these a server and maybe break down 3 or 4 of them, but it's good to have just 2 or 3 of these on hand just in case something happens and you need to be moving outposts around or running flares, all that good stuff. Surveillance. So surveillance drones card is an interesting one. If you've clustered 3 or 4 stations next to each other and you need your scanner, let's say you have a station that has Night Corps, it's getting the spy defense buff, and you just need 1 more range on your scanner to get another station under that umbrella of spy defense. This is a good card for that, but I only really save 1 of these. I break down the rest. Station scan radius. So this is for maybe your capital. You can have this card for your capital, and you got communication array. You've got, you're running missions, all that good stuff. This is a good scan radius for that. Situational at best. Maybe only keep 1 of these, and that's all you need. The 5 freighters. So this is a state. So this is a station card. I've never found situations to keep this card until stations 6, 7, 8, 9. You don't have any slots, you know, available on, you know, your 2 habitation dome, your ice stations, your apex. You don't have any room. Your repair drone stations, you don't have any room. But maybe if you know, for whatever odd reason, you just want to use these for more utility on your stations, you can get 5 permanent freighters to your pool. I haven't used these very often. I will just, whenever their situation arises, I will just pop, you know, a bunch of hourly freighter cards, and it does enough for me. You know, 2 years ago, I might have put these higher on my list, but these are just, you can just burn most of these down and maybe save 1 or 2 of these. All right, last one, but this one's very important. So you've started a brand new server. You don't have communication array up. Maybe you've got 25 vets, 25 patrols, and 20 scouts, and you want to start running level 1 missions. This veteran scout card is amazing. So veteran scout, you blow this on the stack of scouts that you're scanning with. Maybe you have 2. Let's say the perfect world would be you have blue cards straight across. So you have plus 10 speed, 2 radius for dropping probes, and you have the 48-hour probes on a fleet of scouts. And then you put this 200 scan probe strength on here. What this allows it to do is, instead of you having to hit the exact middle of when you go to scan something. So here, I'll just do this real quick. So we'll go make a scout fleet, go like this, create a scout fleet. That's fine. We're going to let's hit max on here, and we're hit spacebar. Okay. So actually don't have any vision here because I'm on a newer server. Everybody's been running missions, but let's say there's a bunch of yellow. So there's a hint right here. So this is a mission right here. Okay. So if I had that combo, I had all the blue cards and I had that veteran scout card on here, I could drop a probe right here, and the 200 scan strength, 1, 2, 3. Yes. So I could put it right here on this hex, and then it would reveal this level 1 mission. Okay. When you start a brand new server, there's so many level 1 missions out there that veteran scout, if you get that early on, or even if you want to craft it, you don't need communication array to auto reveal. You know, minute 1, you can craft this card if you have the credits and start scanning for level 1 missions all over the place. Okay. Some people really highly prioritize running missions, and you need to be able to light them up. And the combo is, if you look at the bottom here where I'm hovering over, you have plus 10 speed, plus 2 radius, or duration. Maybe it's 48-hour duration, plus 2 radius. And then that veteran scout card, you're going to auto reveal on all your probes that you drop. So you're dropping 3 range probes, and they're auto revealing all 3 range. You know, so you put a probe here, you put a probe here, you put a probe here, you put a probe here. You're going to auto reveal all those level 1 missions. And early on, the first day, 2, 3, 4 days, the likelihood of you revealing level 1 missions is really high. So I want you guys to think about that. That's a situation. I highly prize that veteran scout card early on. You guys need to be using it, even applying it when you're lighting up suns. It helps out a lot. All right, guys, this was the rare cards. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me some feedback. And then we're going to be doing the epic cards and then the legendary cards too. Till next time, guys. Gambler, guys. Peace out. Later.